Yes, it is, Kim, and I'm glad to have you on your show.
Well, you have the enviable position of being our first guest in Module 1 of our premiere season, the Microbusiness News Network. And I want you to, in describing your business, talk to us about your strengths, talk to us about the services you provide, and your vision of the future.
Well, thank you for this opportunity. Some of the main strength with Agora, and that is a Greek word for marketplace, a place where you can bring whatever you have and leave with those things, at least directed to those things that can help get what you need. Our strengths that we really found was a anchoring part for Agora is hope and instilling a basis of education into those people that need the help in the community. Now, strength and hope is important because even though people go through things, they still need to know that it shall end, that there is something after that, and that preparing for that now is the most important thing.
Okay, where do you see your business going in the next 5 years?
Well, Kim, in the next 5 years, I see our business going to every state that has a community that need housing or an understanding of housing, because we know that's everywhere. So the standards that we set with housing counseling is unique in that we do make sure that people understand that our mission and our goal is to, as we stated earlier, get an understanding of where they are right now and give them a path and an understanding of what the tools will be necessary to get where they want to go, because they will always have somewhere they want to go, no matter what we're going through. There's always somewhere we want to go. So we help them sort out those issues in their lives. And we want to make sure that they understand that we understand where they're going. We understand the issues that they're faced with. And we have a compassionate team of counselors that have to actually meet a certain criteria to even come to Agora. Oh, I am so glad you brought that point out, because that is something that really pushed Agora to take a lot of major steps. And being the fact that the crisis was actually deemed a crisis, I don't know how many years after it was really already a crisis.
It was already a crisis in our neighborhood.
Exactly. It's just that I believe the difference in this particular crisis is that it touched every single individual. And it touched them in some way, either directly or indirectly, because of people they love and people that they cherish and are concerned about. It didn't have to happen to them, but just a family member. I don't believe there's one person in this nation that wasn't touched by this. So the crisis is just another level of crisis, but it was already here.
What I'm hearing you say is that Agora Community Services is a business that is meeting the needs of the modern day needs of everybody. Talk to us a little bit about your long-range goals as well.
Well, Kim, our long-range goals are extremely simple. And it's so simple, I have to think about it sometimes, but it just can't seem to change. When there's a crisis, we have to know that we're doing something that is going to outlive the crisis. We want to be able to say that the services that we provide aren't for the crisis. They're so that we won't remain or relive this type of crisis again. So it's actually changing a perception of housing, a perception of employment, a perception of just having fun, perception of life. There is a certain way that an individual or family must approach life in order to retain housing. Getting housing is one thing, still retaining it is something else. And it's a way that we're thinking about our housing. We're not putting that as a priority in our lives because we're not learning as much as we can about achieving it and retaining it.
Now,
So we want to be a company that will make sure that generation after generation, that is instilled in the minds and understandings of families.
And even now, one reason that you purchased a house is actually to improve yourself financially. And even how you can use housing to your advantage. How are you going to get that message across to the community?
Well, it's in two ways. One, we know that people are going through right now with the foreclosure rate. People are actually walking away from their homes. They don't understand the process. They don't understand that you don't have to walk away because you do want to look at all the possible options. But we want to deal with the fact that people are in foreclosure. Some may not be able to keep their homes. Some may. The ones that cannot keep their homes, that's an area of education because that's a restabilizing and a recovery program that we give them that would enable them to get ready to be mortgage ready again.
Okay.
Because if they're going to live another 3 years, they might as well be on a road to doing the things that's going to help them become mortgage ready. All of the tools that are necessary would be given to them because just because they're foreclosed on, it does not mean that they now will not be in a home again. They have to be in an apartment. A lot of these families are 5 and 6 people in the family and more. So we have to make sure that they know that it does not mean the end. So the education are really the basic tools and the services that we give on a one-on-one basis and a workshop basis that would give them the tools, give them the practice. We actually meet with them on a monthly basis once they're in the program so that it's going towards an end product, which is to become mortgage ready or to actually get a resolution to whatever their housing situation is. Now, that's one side. The other side is still the same group of people, those that are in foreclosure, but also those people that are renting that want to become homeowners.
Right.
They also can have the opportunity to move into properties, lease to own. We'll teach them everything possible as far as that period of time that they'll be in that lease to own home. And if they decide they want to stay in that home or go to another home or whatever, the point is that they'll be ready. And that they'll also have had the time to bridge that crisis by leaving their home or apartment due to foreclosure. That is bridged now to give them the time necessary to be able to be positioned to buy another home.
Mortgage ready.
Mortgage
I like
ready.
that.
Want a mortgage ready because there's a lot to be ready for.
Yeah.
There's a lot of changes with getting a mortgage now.
Right.
There's a lot of things that they need to understand so that they will be ready.
Yes.
So we want them to be ready. Some people come and they might say, well, I don't want to buy a home. I don't ever want to buy a home again. Well, that's okay, but we encourage them to get the counseling anyway because knowing it is important. And then when you do know it, at least if you change your mind or something happens that you need to buy a home, you're ready.
Hi, this is Kim Richardson. We're back with Micro Business News Network, and today we are featuring Agora Community Services with the lovely Miss Mary Jones. Now, you were talking about the services that you provide for the community, and you said one-on-one counseling. Could you tell us about some other services that you have available?
Yes. Other services, they all are anchored with financial literacy. So our financial literacy is in everything that we talk about or share with any community or family. The community needs financial literacy in the pre-purchase when they're getting ready to buy a home, when they want to increase their home, because changes come in our lives. So when changes come in our lives, we sometimes have to change our housing. Maybe it's too small, maybe we need to increase our housing. Maybe it's that we need to move to another part of the city because our job is changed. So we want to be able to give the pre-purchase information so that they'll be prepared for that change. Pre-purchase is one. We also have homelessness. We actually counsel anyone that might be at risk of homelessness because you don't have to become homeless. There is a lot of opportunities out here, especially now, to not become homeless. And we want to get that information out. Rental Our rental clients are those that are actually renting now. They have a lot of questions about their situation in the property that they're in. Some properties may be in foreclosure, some may not. But we want to make sure, we have to make sure that they understand what their options are. And one main option is for them to look at the possibility of owning a home. Kim, because a home